And this is Stray Pastor, and welcome to my Blu Ray update for the week beginning December 15th, 2013. I have a few titles here. Some I got from Best Buy, and some I got from J&R Computer and Music World. That's a store in New York that sells computers and video, audio stuff, and movies and stuff, and TVs, everything else. Okay, I got some good deals there, but I'm going to go through the Best Buy stuff first. Okay, this movie that came out, and I did a review of this. You can check my channel. I did a review of it last night. This is Despicable Me, Part 2. This is the 3D version. It comes with a nice lenticular cover. Okay, there you go. Okay, that was nice. I enjoyed the movie. Let me close this mail thing, or else you're going to hear it beeping throughout this video. Okay. Anyway, yeah, Despicable Me 2. Like I said, I don't think it was as good as the first one, but this was nice and sweet and had a nice charm to it. And I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to Part 3 when they make it. This is nice. Like I said, Steve Carell does the voice of Gru, and it's great. And you have Kristen Wiig in there, and Benjamin Bratt also does a voice in here, which is good. Of course, then you have the Minions, of course, and the three actresses that play the young daughters. And I think Miranda Cosgrove, she's the most famous, iCarly, and they're all sweet and good in this, and I really like this. Okay, and like I said, I did a review of it. You want to check my channel, Trey Pastor Saturday Reviews. It's up there if you want to see what I think about it, besides what I just told you. And next thing I got was Mary Poppins. This is the 50th anniversary edition, Blu-ray, DVD, and digital copy, starring Julie Andrews, Dick Van Dyke. I remember seeing this years ago. I haven't seen this in a while, so I'm actually going to watch this probably in the next week or so, or 2 weeks maybe, because it's been a long time since I actually seen the whole thing from beginning to end. I like the songs and the dancing and stuff, and Dick Van Dyke, and this was pretty good, so definitely glad to have that. Okay, and last but not least from Best Buy is the Steelbook of Fast and Furious Part 6. Okay, this is the 6th one, of course, the latest one. Now, they have all the other 5 there, but I kind of don't want to get those because I already have the other ones, the Universal ones that came out with the anniversary editions that came out, I think, a few months earlier. So I don't want to kind of double dip on them, but I may get them, maybe not. But this is, again, Part 6, which is really good. And, Part 7, they shut down production on that, and they may film that because, Paul Walker's unfortunate death. Okay, so we'll see what they do with that. Anyway, like I said, these 6 I got from J&R Computer Music World, and I think I'm going to go there more often because they have good titles for cheap prices. I mean, the regular movies are $20 and stuff, and some of them are a little bit high price, but they have regular Blu-ray movies that they don't have in Best Buy, I notice. Because these movies I have here, I don't think I ever saw in Best Buy. So I'm going to go down there probably more often and see and get, like I said, most of these titles, because most of these titles were like $10.99, and then plus I think they took an extra 20% off, which was really good. And they always usually do that at J&R Computer World. They always have the 20% or 30% off, on the Blu-rays and DVDs and stuff on there, which is a good deal. Anyway, the first movie I got, okay, is Romeo Must Die. This stars, of course, Jet Li and Aaliyah, the singer, R&B singer, unfortunately died in a plane crash. And this was Jet Li's first English language, action movie. And back in the 90s, I think it was, there was a bunch of movies with rappers and martial artists and stuff. Like there was a movie with DMX, and I think Jet Li, and there was a movie with Romeo Must Die. But there was Exit Wounds. There was a bunch of other ones, I think all produced by Joel Silver, which are really, really pretty good. And like I said, it's been a while since I've seen this, but I remember liking this. Like I said, Romeo Must Die, and I'm glad to get this again. This was on sale for like $10.99 and plus the 20% off, which is good. Okay, now, of course, another great, one of my other favorite action stars, Stallone. This is Cobra, and this is a great tagline: "Crime is disease, meet the cure." And this is Stallone, playing a cop that basically there's these serial killers running around killing people with axes, and basically he had to protect this witness, played by Bridget Nelson, who he was dating at the time. And this is a good old-fashioned action movie. Okay, no redeeming script, just pure, unadulterated action, which is good. And I really like Cobra. It's been a while since I've seen Cobra, but I remember liking it when that came out. Okay, now this is next one is a horror movie. Okay, this is the original Creepshow, which is absolutely fantastic, and the cast of this is directed by George Romero, but the cast in this is outstanding. Okay, you had Hal Holbrook, Adrienne Barbeau, Fritz Weaver, Les Nielsen, also Ted Danson was in here. Just a great cast of, and it was just an anthology of different stories, and they were all fantastic. And I'm glad they got the original Creepshow. It was great, and Creepshow 2 was pretty good too. I heard they made a Creepshow 3, which I never saw, but Creepshow, I absolutely love this. I remember seeing this in the theater and really liking that. Now the next movie is Deep Blue Sea, about the killer sharks. Okay, Samuel L. Jackson. I have to say no more. Inspirational speech, and then you know what happened. And that movie for forever be the funniest thing I ever saw. I mean, not the funniest thing I ever saw, but one of the funniest things I ever saw. Him making that inspirational speech, and then exactly what happened next right after that was classic. It was just too funny for words. Okay, Deep Blue Sea, and I'm glad I finally have that. Okay, and this next movie is a comedy romance type of thing. This is Roxanne starring Steve Martin and Daryl Hannah. This is based on the Cyrano de Bergerac novel, given a modern spin, with Steve Martin playing like a fire chief, excuse me, from the small town, and he of course is smitten with Daryl Hannah, who plays like this astronomy student, but she only has high eyes for this other guy, Chris, Fireman Chris. So he kind of helps, but Chris is kind of not as smart. So Steve Martin's character kind of helps him woo Daryl Hannah, and it has a little twists and turns in it. But Steve Martin makes this movie. Okay, Steve Martin is just so charismatic in this movie, and it's a nice, fun romance and good comedy, and it's one of a classic. And I love Steve Martin. He made some great movies back in the day, great comedies and stuff, and good dramas. Steve Martin is just fantastic. So I'm glad to finally have this. Okay, Roxanne. I remember seeing that again in the theater too, and loving that. Now this next one is an action movie, and again, back in the '90s, I think it was the '90s. You had a whole bunch of action stars. It's Stallone, Schwarzenegger, and you had Steven Seagal. I think you had this guy, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Double Impact. I love this movie because this movie he plays twins in this. And I think the beginning, there's the back, and I think what happens in the beginning of this is like his parents are like diplomats or something, or foreign ministers or something, and they get murdered, and then the somebody saves the two boys because the two kids are babies when the parents get killed, and they get split up, of course, and then they somehow find their way back to each other, and they basically get revenge for the people that killed their parents. And that's a good action movie. Jean-Claude Van Damme can't act to save his life, but it works for this type of movie. The action and stuff, it works. And I didn't even know this was on Blu Ray, but like I said, I was looking through the movies and I found it, and I said, let me grab it, and I'm so glad I did. I'm anxious to watch this again because it had great action. And I think there's even a scene here where, because he plays two different, the two twins, and one of his characters, the guy with the slick back hair character is more of the angry one, and he gets this drunken mistake, and he thinks that his girlfriend is sleeping with his brother, and they have a fight actually. He fights himself basically, which is real funny. Okay, but it's a good action movie, and I'm glad to have it Double Impact. Like I said, I never even knew some Blu-ray, but I'm glad to have it. Okay, like I said, I got to go back to JNR Music Room because they seem to have a lot of good movies for decent prices and stuff. So it's good. I'm glad I went there. Anyway, let me know what you think of these titles. Feel free to leave comments down below. And this is Trey Passer saying so long and take care.